right, good morning, everyone. I am making this first social studies video to kind of kick off our brochure project that we were supposed to start the Monday we got back from the weekend. So here we go. Let's share screen here, and I want to show you some resources that I have been kind of dumping into our Google Classroom under the Social Studies tab. All right, so here is the PowerPoint that we did when Mr. Conway came in and visited us for my observation. And we want to remind you of our essential question for this whole project is what influences people to live where they live? And we went through with this hypothetical family, the Hernandez family. They're coming from Houston, Texas. What are the questions they would have about this area, right? Lake George and the surrounding area? You know, what would the adults want? What would the children want? What would financially what would they need? And what would they want to do with their free time when they have a weekend or a vacation? All right, and we broke into groups, and we had people, you know, as a recorder who was writing down these questions, and then we put you on the clock, and we gave out these handouts. This right here is an important slide because you're going to be linked to this in just a second. I'll show you on this video. And we talked about the four major aspects. There are four large parts, features, characteristics that people use to categorize parts of social studies, whether it's a country, a city, a state. When we compare these things, we are really want to focus in on these four major aspects. And we filled this out as we went through these slides. So once again, government. How is my voice represented? How are the laws set in my country? Are they different from the United States? Are they similar to the United States? We have local and national laws. All right. Now, this is a little different because, once again, we are looking at different countries, not per se a different state or city in the United States. But how is the government used in their country? Remember, the government sets taxes. The government, you know, kind of has that ability to change laws, and this is an important aspect for people moving to, especially a different country. Economy. Obviously, you know, Lake George, we live in a very, very economy, a tourism, which boosts our economy, heavy area. All right. The big thing is this right here. For adults moving to a new area, and once again, it's going to probably be the parents and the adults that are making that decision to move somewhere. Jobs. Are they going to have a job? Second, cost of living. When you move to a new area, your dollar might go further than in other places. We did the example of a house in Lake George would be much different price-wise if it was plopped in the middle of Alabama. People want to live near the lake. They want to live near beautiful areas. So living in, another example, living in the middle of New York City or Manhattan is going to cost you a lot of money. People, it's sought after. People want to live there. Another one is imports and exports. Think about in New York State, for example, we export a ton of apples. This part of our country, you know, the Northeast, New England, maple syrup. If you go out to California, maple syrup, true Vermont maple syrup costs a ton of money. All right. But what comes into New York? We can't grow oranges or citrus for the most part this time of year. So how do we get those into our grocery stores? That comes into our economy as well. All right. So geography, pretty straightforward. What are the natural formations? Okay, we want to make sure we understand that natural, not man-made. So the Adirondacks right here, the lake is not man-made. Yes, we have, you know, islands and docks and slips all over I'm sorry, not the islands, but the campgrounds on the islands. Those are man-made. But what are some natural wonders that we can um, um, kind of hone in on when we are looking at a place to move? I think about like Niagara Falls. That is a beautiful waterfall, and it was, naturally made. Also, think about people who are, want to be able to hike, be able to hunt. That's a big economy, a big item in certain parts of the world, and access to that nature and access to the wildlife there. And probably the biggest one that you're going to want to focus on is culture. Um, when we were comparing the Hernandez family moving from Houston, Texas to Lake George, not so much of a big difference. It is the United States to the United States. But down in southern Texas, their culture is going to be a lot different than up here in kind of snowy New York. Um, the influences on the culture are significantly different. Now, when we're talking about going to a different country, this is going to play a huge thing. Probably won't find many hockey teams in Central and South America. All right. But what do people do for fun? We think about entertainment, sports, restaurants, schools, community, history. What kind of history does this culture have, this country have? Lake George has a beautiful, amazing history because we were kind of the cradle of the American Revolution. All right. And then think about this, any celebrities that have come from that country as well. All right. We did this, the coding of the questions. We looked at your questions and we coded them with government or geography and economy or culture. And then here's some things that we talked about a little bit at the end of our lesson. All right. This obviously was most important to the lesson, not important now. So this has been shared with you. So if you need to refresh yourself on this, what are we looking for in each of these four aspects? This is all shared with you. All right. So moving back to this has been shared with you as well. It's a view only, so bing, bing, bing. Make sure you file, make a copy so you can have your own. And this is where you're gonna, jot down notes, copy, paste. It is okay to copy and paste. When we put it into our own words, that's where the magic happens. So copy and paste here. If this goes on and on and on, it doesn't matter. All right, you can go on and on. This is going to be your hub for getting all of this information. Where do I get the information from is probably your next question, and that's where you will head over to our Lake George website, okay, lkgeorge.org. We're going to click right here. We're going to go down to the Lake George Elementary School, and you will notice that this top menu, there we go, changes, okay, because we're in the elementary school page now. You go to library, click it once, you're going to get to the Weebly page that Mrs. Crossman has made. And we're going to go right here to resources. Now you have to do this because Mrs. Crossman has paid for Culturegrams, which we'll use for the research. And this is an automatic login. Now, once you get here, you could obviously bookmark this page. Excuse me. We're going to scroll down, and you will see about midway down. This is what you're looking for. Let me zoom in. Culturegrams. Okay. So you want to be able to get to Culturegrams, and you can see we're already logged in up here. So try to use it this way. All right. If I want to kind of break this website down, we are going to be focusing in these two boxes right here, mostly this nice blue box. All right. So we go to Explore, and we want to click on. Now, if you picked a Central American country, it doesn't categorize it as Central America. It puts it in, lumps it in with North America. If you picked a South American country, you would just click on South America. And then you're just going to click on the country that you have selected. So if I picked Brazil, this is the landing page for Brazil. Now, this is basically where you're going to get all of your information. And here is the kind of quick little 2-cent tour of this webpage. There is so much to kind of grasp here, but I want you to take a look, especially, I know all of your eyes are probably going right to here. This is where a lot of your research will come from. Take a look right here, land and climate, okay? History, we talked about that in our presentation, all right? The people, this would kind of be your culture, especially with customs, especially with lifestyle, all right? As we scroll down, government, economy, all right? Education and health would fall under culture, but all of this is right here. And all it is a simple click. So if we go to economy, and then remember, Culturegrams is designed for students of your age. Going out to Wikipedia and going through kind of that dense material is not going to be something that you want to do. These are designed for students of your age. All right. And look, it's very simple. It doesn't overwhelm. It's a very easy way to break down something very complex like economy into your terms. All right. So there is a quick little rundown. Remember now they leave this up here. So if you have to get back, all right, you can obviously hit the back button, but you can go right back to Brazil this way. Now on this side, there is a photo gallery and famous people. We talked about famous people. There's charts, there's tools. I mean, they have an infographic, the national anthem. I mean, guys, there's just so much that you can have fun with here. All right. And obviously this here, this is kind of like their fun facts. All right. So I know you're probably saying, well, what about pictures? And we will get to that when we do the brochure video. I'm going to have a brochure video because this is a lot to digest here. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is research, and this is where you will get all of your research from is Culturegrams. We have vetted this. It's a great, great, great resource. So we want you working from Culturegrams. Okay. Before I end this video, I want to remind you that I've also added in the social studies tab here my sample brochure of what you're going to do in the end. Don't worry about this now. The next couple of days here is just researching. We're not going to start this aspect of it until the next week, okay? So once again, if you're looking for, like we talk about beginning with the end in mind, here is exactly what we will be producing at the end of this kind of little project here, all right? Listen, I know I threw a lot at you, one step at a time. As I'm looking at this right here, we have 14 people who have already selected their country. We need the other 4 to get their, it's due today, get your country in. And once again, the PowerPoint is up and running. I have shared with you this. Remember to file, make a copy. And, you know, these next couple days is just to start populating this with lots and lots of information. All right. Okay, so that is it. I will be making a brochure video later about how to use it on Canva, and we'll go from there. All right. See ya.